Hello everyone out there, this is Adam Fleischhacker, unifying narrative, math, and code. Today's lesson, circumscribing text with an ellipse. We're going to use the Luxor package and Pluto as our interface into the Julia language. So I will start Julia. Here we go. Load the Pluto package and launch the Pluto UI. We'll create a new notebook. Our new notebook is open, and we'll create a title for our project for today. Circumscribing text with an ellipse. And hide the markdown language. Excellent. To do this, we're going to use the very slick Luxor package. And we can find documentation of the Luxor package. Here's its GitHub location. And it's always tricky to me because normally I read down here looking for where documentation might live. A short tutorial can be found in the documentation, but where's the link? Give me the link. And what I realized is that here, documentation, if you go to docstable, that actually is a link to the documentation. First thing I want to do is create some text. You'll see there's two APIs when using Luxor, the Toy or the Pro. We are going to go with the Toy API. And it looks like to create text, I just use the text function. Well, that sounds pretty easy. Let's try it. I type, can you see this? It runs, and the first time takes a while because it's got to compile some code. Next time will be much quicker. And the answer is no, it cannot see this. And the error, there is no current drawing. Oh yeah, we have to tell Luxor that we're creating a drawing. There are two ways to do that. One way is to just use this drawing command that you see here. And the other way is to use a macro, like @svg or @svg begin and end. So let's use this macro, and that will help us. Shift Enter. It's running. And usually the startup time in Julia takes a little bit, but once you're off and running, things will move much faster. Well, yeah, I can sort of see that, but it's really small and there's a lot of white space. Let's set the font and font size to make this look bigger. Back to my text help documentation. I will copy the font size and font face from there and see if this works. It's a little bit bigger, but really I like things big. So let's try 26. Awesome. Can you see this? I can. There's a lot of white space though. Do I need all that white space? Maybe I could get rid of it. One of the things I can do is get font dimensions. You can see font dimensions here. And if I use this text extents function, I think that's how you pronounce it, I can get the width and height of the text, 3 and 4. So let's save our text string in an object. Make sure that works. Yeah, no changes, that's a good sign. And then I can get the width and height of the text box. And actually what I'm going to do is take all this non-drawing related stuff outside of the drawing context so I can access it. Take this code, put it over here. And since I'm in Pluto, Pluto likes a begin and end statement for multi-line code blocks. So we will separate out this stuff. Let's create a text box size object, which gets the output of this text extents function. Shift Enter. And it outputs this column vector. 6 rows by 1 column. And it's really rows 3 and 4 that are the height and the width. So let's extract rows 3 and 4. Let me make sure they're height and width. If you highlight the function name and go to live docs, this is pretty cool. It can tell you, oh, 3 is the width and 4 is the height. So we'll capture text width equals, and live docs are making me nauseous, so goodbye. Text width is the third array value, and text height is the fourth. Run this now, Shift Enter, and it outputs just the height. The width is saved, but Pluto will just output the results of the last line. So now I have the height and width. I can actually set these things. When I use a drawing macro, I can have 2 arguments, parameters. Let's see. 2 arguments or parameters. If I go to the help documentation, here they are, 1200 and 1200. What does that mean? The width and the height. Okay, so we'll go width and height, and let's see if this works. That doesn't seem to work at all. Because I didn't set the font size and font face above. So the context in this code block and the context within this SVG call are not the same. So let's make them the same. Shift Enter. Okay. My problem is I am starting the text. The alignment of the text is starting at the middle of my drawing space. So if I center the text vertically and horizontally, then my drawing space should be just large enough so I can use the live docs help documentation to help me there. And it will tell me that I should do V align, H align, and I can do center for her horizontal alignment and middle for vertical alignment. So we do that. Middle and center. Let's see if that worked. Aha! And now we can see the entire box. Fantastic. All right, we're doing well. Let's see if we can create a little white space. I'll do twice the height and width. And that looks pretty good. Okay, next step to solve is the ellipse.
And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel.
The Luxor documentation. Luxor ellipse, excellent. Looks like I can just say a center point and a width and a height.
Behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle.
Okay, let's use our function for the ellipse. So we'll center around our origin, and we'll do text width and text height. And use stroke for our action, so it draws the outline of the ellipse. Awesome. Although we're not circumscribed. So the key to circumscribing this text box with an ellipse requires us to use more than just this ill-conceived plan to use text width and text height. I will Google it. Circumscribe rectangle with an ellipse. From experience, I know this Stack Overflow answer is pretty good. And if you navigate here, this is actually the one I like. Here's the formula for the ellipse. There's infinite ellipses going through the 4 corner points of a rectangle. So you have to make an assumption And the assumption here is that the proportion of the A and B matches the proportion of the rectangle length and the rectangle width. So under that assumption, you divide by the square root of 2. Rectangle width divided by the square root of 2 to get your width radius here, and same thing to get your height radius for the ellipse. So we do that, square root of 2, square root of 2, and that doesn't work out. I actually need to multiply by 2. And there we have it.
We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle.